White Rocket Entertainment, podcast number 991. Live from the Destiny somewhere across the universe still. It's the White Rocket Babylon 5 and Sci-Fi Review Podcast. And I am your host, Van Allen Plexico, joined as always by my longtime co-host, Andy Fix. Are you out there on the Destiny, Andy?
I am on the Destiny somewhere. I kind of got lost, so I don't know.
It happens. Well, we have the communication stones to try to track you down, and that's how we brought aboard Laura Schroeder. Laura, are you there?
I am here.
Yay.
Trying to keep my cat from throwing everything off my desk.
Oh, here we go. We got animal hijinks already, and we're just getting started. All right. Well, we are here to pick back up our ongoing review of Stargate Universe. We're well into season 2 now, with episode 203 Awakenings and 204 Pathogen. And one of the things we're going to talk about, not yet, but we're going to talk about is what exactly those titles are referring to, because other than continuing their tradition of one-word titles, I'm not exactly sure what they're accomplishing with that. By the way, I'll note as well, we just have 9 more episodes to go to get to White Rocket episode 1000. And I was talking with John, my Wishbone co-host, about it the other night. And we're thinking about maybe having as many folks on for one big, celebratory show as we can. So we'll see if there's a time we can get everybody on. We'll see what we can do.
You know what you should do, Van? You should do a swap where Laura and I get on and talk football with you, and then
and John,
you have John talk sci-fi with you.
Yeah. That would be fun. Well, John does talk sci-fi with me a good bit, but that would be interesting. Yeah, I would love to see you guys flex your great Auburn football knowledge. That would be fun.
That would be that much.
All right. First thing out of the chute tonight, we got to check on the news, and there's been several newsy things happen since we last convened. So as always, I want to ask you guys first, do you guys have anything news related for this show, for Stargate in general, for Babylon 5, for sci-fi in general? Any news you want to throw out there?
Well,
sorry, Andy, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I heard that Doctor Who has been canceled and everybody has been fired. So they're going to, I guess, let it lie fallow for a while and then restart it again at some undetermined point in the future. And JMS has come out and thrown his hat into the ring, but said it very carefully, saying, I don't know if they want an American running a British show, so we will leave that up to them to decide.
Well, I know they did that. When they did the movie with Paul McGann, that was an American production.
Right.
And that is one of the more contentious parts.
That's a very polite way of saying it. Went over like a fart in church.
Well, since you mentioned it, I do have... I have that on the soundboard because we use that for our portal transfer effect. When players change from one team to another, we play that. That's going through the portal. And if they change in a way that we don't like, Andy, you're probably familiar with this. I don't know if Laura is, but when they go the other way, our portal sound is. Do y'all recognize that sound?
Yes, that's from a video game.
It is. But which one?
I want to say Defender.
Close. Oh, so close. It's the right sound effect, but it's not the right game. So close, though.
I didn't really play video games, so.
Robotron.
Oh, okay.
Which is Defender, but instead of flying around, you're running around.
You're running around, right.
All right. So, yeah, we had the JMS news about Doctor Who. Let me throw out here real quick, since you mentioned JMS. He also just posted a lengthy article on his Substack describing the process of serving as the showrunner for a television show. I didn't have time. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning when I saw it last night while I was watching a World Cup game. And I'm just like, I can't read this right now. It goes on for pages. But it is something I want to go seek out again at some point because it was free. He had it on his Substack for free. And basically, he says people ask him, what does it mean to be the showrunner? He says, well, here's all you do. And he just goes through and talks about everything that you do. So that sounds pretty interesting to me. I'm curious to read that. So there's 2 JMS items. Laura, did you have any news items?
I don't have like specifics because I just kind of saw it in passing, but it does have to do with Stargate, and I think it was probably in my Facebook feed, but basically it was Michael Shanks putting out link to a petition Amazon to reconsider doing the Stargate thing.
Right.
But it was done by Michael Shanks. So I found that interesting that it's, I mean, I always enjoy when actors are fans of the franchise that they are associated with.
Well,
go ahead, Van.
No, I was just going to say this. I don't know if we've reported previously that it got canceled.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly last time.
Okay. So what did you have, Andy?
I was just going to say I don't think that's going to work. It's the same old executive politics at Amazon. Well, just like any Hollywood studio, the guy that approved it is out, and the guy that came in wants nothing to do with it because then he makes the other guy look good. So
exactly.
It's
a Babylon 5 all over again.
Right. It may pop up again in a year or two. Who knows? I mean, they own SGU. Amazon does. It's not like they have to license it from anybody because they own MGM. I think it's MGM, and MGM owns Stargate. So I'm sure they'll revisit it at some point, but who knows when or how or whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's just disappointing because it was the weirdest logic too, right? They were saying like, we don't want to do a show that appeals to the older fans. We want to do something completely new. And like, well, if you do something that the older fans don't like, and then it doesn't catch on with the new fans, you've essentially thrown half of your audience out, not brought in another half, and now nobody's watching it. It just
right, exactly. I think that was all just political speak, just to say we didn't want to do it because the other guy would look good, so we're just going to come up with an excuse.
Unfortunately,
I did one bit of news is I went to see He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, so you guys don't have to.
Oh, I already saw it, man. I saw it opening day.
Oh, did you? Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, golly, we could do a podcast about that then, because
that was fun. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Did you? I thought it was. I thought it was cute. I thought there were some funny moments. My son loved it. I took 4 10-year-olds. And my son did not take his ADHD or his ADHD pill in the morning, so he was in rare form, and it was hilarious and terrifying at the same time. But it was an interesting afternoon for sure.
See, I went in knowing nothing about the franchise. I'd never seen the show, never had the toys, never read the comic. All I knew was just kind of who some of the characters were, Skeletor and He-Man. And I just thought it was really clever how they used the names, the sort of silly names for the key toys. And they made it like, well, he was a kid when he named them these things. So of course he calls them this. So that was good. And then it was fun. I thought Skeletor was a lot of fun. He was what I wanted Dr. Doom to be for so many years.
I think they dipped a little bit into the Guardians of the Galaxy formula. They were a little bit too irreverent of the source material, and it was a little bit annoying at times. But like I said, I wasn't the target audience. My 10-year-old son was clearly smack dab in the middle of the target audience, so they succeeded.
That's the argument that we've made for so long now about the Babylon 5 reboot, was that if you are a 50, 60, 70-year-old man complaining about the Babylon 5 reboot, you are not the audience they're looking for. I just couldn't get people to understand that.
Right.
So, all right. Let's get into it then. 203 Awakening. Let me run through our usual boilerplate stuff to set it in the context of history.
I think an alien may have gotten loose on Laura's side.
I know. It's like she's fighting the xenomorph in her home right now. I'm wondering if I should call the sheriff to go over there and do something. I don't know what's happening. It's terrifying. All right.
My desk is I've been trying to reorganize and stuff, and it is a mess. And she's decided to park herself up on the desk and like decide to play with every little thing on it. Like she wants to bite the cord, connecting my microphone, and now she's just taking up space in the middle of the desk.
All you folks with animals in your houses, I just don't understand. David Sedaris had a great line I saw him the other night. He said in his new book, he said that he was walking through some community in like Portland, and this homeless guy's dog bit him, and everybody's like, "What kind of dog was it?" As opposed to, "Oh no, should we take you to the doctor?" Right? Everybody's like, "Oh, a dog. What kind?" He's like, "I don't know, a dog that bit." So that's me. I'm like David Sedaris there. Anyway, all right. Original air date October 12, 2010. Written by Joseph Malazzi and Paul Mully. And I've been seeing Joseph Malazzi. Obviously, he and I follow each other on Twitter. I've mentioned that before. And he's been tweeting a lot of, he's doing this huge like NCAA tournament of captain and science officer and medical officer to put together the perfect ship's crew. So if you're interested in such things, go over to Twitter. It's really fun to see how people are voting. Of course, Stargate characters keep winning everything. But he wrote this episode, directed by Andy Makita, who is a longtime Stargate director. I have a summary for this one. Does anybody have one they really want to read out? I'm not in love with this one. I didn't make it up.
I'd be interested to see how they summarized this episode.
Yeah, I am too. I pasted it. I haven't even read it. Here we go. The Destiny docks with an ancient Stargate seeding ship, the seed ship. Okay. Rush, Eli, and the scientists. Rush and Eli are scientists. But anyway, I'm going to edit on the fly. Rush, Eli, and the other scientists try to link the ship's power together to dial Earth while Scott and Greer explore the ship. The group encounters an alien and tries to befriend it. When Colonel Young, this goes on for quite a while, when Colonel Young decides to capture the alien escapes, and the other aliens that were with it decide to reverse the energy transfer, interrupting the dialing and threatening to leave Destiny power drained and adrift. Eventually, Rush manages to unlink the two ships in time, but Telford is left behind. Bum, bum, bum. Of course, on this show, we've had a lot of characters getting left behind, and somehow they always manage to unbehind themselves. So all right. So that's 203 Awakening. Let me see. We have any guest stars of note? I think both of these episodes just stick with the cast, which is your main cast, plus Telford, plus the new Lucian Alliance people, including Mike Dopood as Varro, and Julie McNiven briefly appeared as Gin or Jin, and then that guy Robert Nepper as Simeon, which I love that his name is Simeon because it's spelled Simeon, but he's like a gorilla in a China shop. So. All right. So, any notes and factoids, Laura, that you want to throw out there about this one?
No, I couldn't find any.
I couldn't either.
All right, I got a few things, but not much. Not a lot. I mean, honestly, this may be a short show, although I know who we're talking here to, so it won't be short. But all right, I got a few things. They downloaded a lot of stuff from the Seed Ship's database. So an unanswered question that I don't have in that category will be, what kind of maybe information could they find out from the Seed Ship? This episode takes place approximately 9 months after the beginning of the series. Colonel Young mentions Homeworld Command is expecting them. But is that different from the Stargate Command under Cheyenne Mountain? Is that a different organization in a different location? Exactly what was he talking about there? Or was that the writer using a different term? There was a bunch of seed ships in the galaxy put out 2,000 years ago. So this ship must have been stranded for over 2,000 years. Let's see. The song that played at the end of the episode was Sort of Revolution by Fink. Let me get a quick show of a reaction from you two. Do you like the sort of pop folk music they often end episodes of this show with, or do you find it strangely incongruous with the show? Thoughts?
I'm completely indifferent. I don't really connect with most music because I've never heard it before, and it's really not my style. So I just kind of tune it out as just background music. But I mean, I get what they are trying to do, and maybe back then it did connect with the viewers, but I'm completely oblivious.
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I mean, I kind of somewhere in the back of my brain acknowledge that it's there. And with any show, if it sounds interesting, I'll make the effort to look it up to see what it is. But I'm kind of like Andy. I'm just kind of indifferent. I mean, it's a thing, and it's there, and it doesn't really mean a whole lot.
I'll be honest, I usually fast forward through that because all they're doing is just being all introspective and sitting there and staring off into space, and it's really easy to just flip through it and move on to 30 seconds or 60 seconds later.
It's kind of the Stargate equivalent of when they would end season 1 of Space 1999 with everybody looking out the window at the moon and the stars, and you'd hear do 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 do. Yeah, I put it this way. I think you're right, Andy. I think it was more effective in 2010. It hasn't aged particularly well. And it's always that sort of, it's not country music, but it's like just one folk step over from country music, and it kind of grates on me a little bit because music in a show like this is usually kind of supposed to be understated and under the radar. Yeah. And it just smacks me in the face every time now.
It was during the hipster era, so it's very hipster folk pop, and it's very it annoyed me back then. It annoys me now. So
yeah, I was wondering what you guys thought of that. All right, let's see. Last few things. The cost of the special effects for this episode was larger than expected. In fact, this episode might have been nominated for an Emmy for special effects, so I know it didn't win. Parts of the episode were trimmed down to bring it into a more respectable, but it still cost more than they thought. Let's see. Oh, the episodes at the beginning of season 2 were filmed out of order, including this one, because Robert Carlyle directs the next one, and he needed more time. So that may have been something y'all were saving for the next one. I apologize. When the crew begin dialing the Stargate in this episode, it starts making the spinning noise before it starts spinning. Whoops. Whoopsie. Maybe that's just how the old style ancient Stargates worked, right? There's a scene that Alan J. Porter and I talked about in one of the James Bond movies. I think it's the one with the last Pierce Brosnan one, that everybody hates, where a guy walks up to a door and the door starts to open, and then he waves his key card in front of the thing. And that's in a James Bond movie, like a big budget film. It does that.
Wow.
So this happens. These things happen. Let's see. It's not clear why the Cedar ship was stationary. We don't know what made it, sit there. This ship apparently had enough energy to dial a 9 Chevron Stargate address. So it's not clear why. It was probably not launched much earlier than Destiny since they caught up to it. But maybe they intended for the Destiny to catch up to some of those ships. We don't know. These are a lot of unanswered questions.
Right.
Rush speculates the aliens they find on the Cedar ship could be a research team. They've apparently been there for a while, are well acquainted with the computer interface and the control systems. We don't know much about them, though. They're not particularly hostile. And okay, one of the websites asked the question, why does Colonel Young have Lieutenant Scott lead the Explorer mission rather than Colonel Telford, who outranks him? To me, that seemed pretty obvious that he still doesn't trust Telford. Did y'all get anything different from that?
No, that's totally it. You can even tell in their conversation later between Telford and I flipped my name. Young, yeah, between Young and Telford, you could see it in just the way he was addressing him that he doesn't trust him. So yeah, I agree with you 100%.
That, and I mean, Telford's not really part of the crew. I mean, he's on the ship, and yes, he's military, but he was not part of this mission. And so
That's true.
I think that plays into it, plus the fact that, yeah, the lack of trust there.
I'll say this: Young barely trusts his own people, and by that I mean like the military people from Icarus Base. He doesn't trust his own people that are not military, and he sure doesn't trust Telford. So, and he sure doesn't trust the Lucian Alliance people, which, to be fair, I'd have put them all out the airlock probably, but
I'm not sure if Young even trusts his own judgment at this point.
no.
I was going to say that too. I don't think he trusts himself anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did like that we briefly saw the main gun of Destiny.
Right.
That sucker came down from the. It looks
right.
pretty formidable, doesn't it?
Right. Well, the first gun came down. I'm like, ooh, that's a big gun. And then they kept coming down, and there's 3 more big ones. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah. The Ancients didn't mess around. All right. So that's all the what you kickies that I have. Let's talk about the episodes a little bit. So, all right. First off, I just want to ask you, because we touched on this right before we went on the air. These felt like 2 kind of less consequential episodes. It feels like they're feeding into the longer narrative way more than they're doing anything immediately. Like not a whole lot happened. So Let me go to Laura first. Laura, did you have any thoughts in terms of like what happened or didn't happen in this episode, and did it make it better or worse for you, or what?
It just, it's like you said, there wasn't like a lot of action or setup. It just seems like they're just like establishing something for later on. It's the setup. And once again, leaving lots of things like, okay, where are we going from here? What was this all about? What's, when people get left behind, they don't stay behind. So it just, I guess I'm not one, I don't have to have action or a lot of stuff going on if I'm watching a continuous series. Sometimes you need these character-centric or things that set up other stuff, and I'm fine with that going along in the story.
Okay. Andy?
Babylon 5 did a masterclass on this when they would this was advancing all the subplots that are currently going on in the arc, and they're fascinating story plots, and consequential stuff happens in those subplots, but there was no A plot to drive the episode forward. And like I said, Babylon 5 was masterful at, usually they would have a solid A plot story, even if it was just the bare bones of an A plot. It was still something that drove the narrative of this episode forward, while then spending time on all the subplots as well. And these 2 episodes, this one in particular, like you said, it was all B plot, and I don't need action. Speaking to what Laura was saying, I don't need action. I just need, a story, and there just really wasn't much of one here.
Yeah, I guess all that really happened in this one was the other ship and the aliens. Otherwise, it was just like we already knew that Chloe had stuff going on after being messed with by the aliens, the blue aliens, and we already knew that Rush had found the control room and was messing around with that. A lot of the stuff that was a lot of that B and C plot stuff in this episode was just more of stuff we already knew. We already knew that TJ was upset about her baby. So it was just kind of like more of what we already knew. We knew that Young didn't trust the Lucian Alliance people. We knew that he and Telford are still working their relationship out. There's just, even the B plot stuff wasn't new. It was just more of layers of what we already, that was my main complaint. If you're going to have nothing but character development, at least make some of it new character development. But this was just, no, we're still doing this. No, I still feel this way. No, she's still that, So that was sort of my disappointment. All right. It felt like, think about it. Here's what I would compare it to. My favorite episodes in season 1, and we talked about this, so I don't want to rehash anything. I'm just going to say my favorite episodes in season 1 were like the time looping with the little worm eel critters. I love that one. And the one where they encounter the aliens and have to get off the spaceship and everything. And those are like, there's character stuff going on, but those are very exciting single episodes. And I'm not wanting the show to be, obviously the show hasn't been on in many years. There's nothing I can do about it, but I'm not wishing the show had been more episodic. I'm just wishing that, like you made the perfect example, Andy, that Babylon 5 was able to combine the episodic with the serial. And it feels sometimes like this show kind of either does one or the other, but it doesn't always want to do both very well. So they're just not comfortable with it. All right. Well, yeah, it's been more about the characters this season, which is fine, except that the show is already really up its own rear end about the characters. Really, I mean, like, look at our characters. I mean, this show walks a very fine line. I think for the most part, this show says, here are these really gray, interesting characters. None of them are really good or really bad. They're all just regular people. They can do good things or bad things. It does a pretty good job of walking that line, but every now and then they get a little bit, hey, look at our characters, aren't we cool? And I'm just like, and that's sort of what these 2 episodes felt like to me. I want to ask y'all 2 questions about it. Number 1, Andy first. Let me tell you this time. How are we feeling about the Lucian Alliance prisoners at this point? Would you put them out the airlock, make them crew members, or something in between?
I think they're doing what they can with them. I mean, I wouldn't let them have the run of the ship without, armed guards present. I wouldn't kill them because they seem genuine, except for that Simeon dude. But for the most part, I mean, they are doing what, I mean, I'm on Young's side on this one. We can't let you out because we don't trust you. You got to give us more to the information's great, but you got to make us believe that you're trustworthy. And the leader said, well, what can we do to build that trust? And he said, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, Young is in an unenviable position right now. He doesn't want to just space him because that would be inhumane, but he can't just let him have the run of the ship either.
So much Star Trek Voyager to this if they had done it right. If Voyager had done it right.
Right.
Laura, your thoughts on the Lucian Alliance at this point?
It's kind of hard to separate since this is my second time watching it, knowing what's happening and stuff. But I guess I'm a little bit more soft-hearted, though, because they showed both Jin and Varro, wanting to truly be helpful and understanding that, look, this is the world that we lost. This is the world we live in. So we've got to show that we can be productive and that we're going to not go against them. And we don't know Jin's backstory yet. I don't think. I can't remember now. Really. I know, like with Varro, but it's like not everyone, just like with most bad guys organizations, a lot of the people in there were forced in there, and which you see a lot, because I mean we saw similar things in other shows, but yeah, they're not there by choice. They're there because they were forced, and now they've got to survive. So it's not like they necessarily believed in the cause. But then you've got characters like Simeon that just ruins it for everybody.
Right.
Well, it's sort of denazification. I mean, who's a Nazi and who just lived in Germany and got sucked up into the machine?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And I continue to say Varro is in a different show from everybody else. I'm not even going to put that in the category this time, because he's like, Colonel Young, I'm a good man. We are good people and we wish to contribute. I'm like, you were like a Nazi 10 minutes ago. Dude.
Right. He's trying to kill everybody.
I've moved on from Holocaust to other things. I'm leaving baskets in the cabin now. I'm like, dude, you can't. And they act surprised. That Young has that opinion. Where does that come from? Like, if they had won, they would just let Scott become a Lucian Alliance guy.
Right.
No.
They would have offed them all. Yeah.
Varro is just got the hots for TJ, so
that's all it is. That's 100%. Bang, bang, bang. That is it. Varro's like, you know what? If they were on a ship with like cross-dressing Venusian four-headed slave girls, and TJ, Varro would be like, I love cross-dressing Venusians. Let me sign up, right? That's all he cares about is he's just like a puppy. It's kind of pitiful. Anyway, all right. The other question I have for you is, I'm going to start with Laura this time, be fair. How do we evaluate Colonel Young at this point? Because we've talked from the beginning on here about Young. And Andy mentioned him a minute ago, I think, as I was like, okay, we'll get there. So how do you evaluate him?
So in this episode, he really annoyed the crap out of me because it's like, I understand he's got the responsibility of everybody on the ship and all of that, but it's just, he seemed antagonistic to everyone and everything this episode. It's like, dude, where are you? Just, stop being mopey and deal with the situation. He really annoyed me this episode. Because he did, the whole thing. Oh, no, we can't have the Lucian Alliance, but we can't do this. Oh, no, that's not right. No,
we wishy-washy sometimes.
Yes.
All right, Andy, what do you got?
Okay, so he knows Rush is butting heads with him and is probably out to get him. He knows Varro could very well be out to get him. He knows that Telford is probably out to get him. He knows that the HR department is probably out to get him.
Oh, the HR department.
So,
I love our HR department on this show.
Really, can you blame him? I mean, he's got his best buddy on board this ship is Greer, who is half crazy. So he's the only guy that he knows he can solidly trust. So yeah, I mean, the guy is not in a good spot, and he's doing the best he can to hold everything together, inclling himself.
And when he calls home, the general says, "Get your stuff together." Quit asking me for help.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of feel for the guy. I mean, if I were put in that position, I'd hole up in my cabin and say, "You figure it out. I'm gonna watch TV."
Yeah, man. And well, the thing is, they don't really have anybody else on the ship that could serve as the leader. I mean, Scott's too young.
Yep.
And Rush is a scientist. He's not concerned about everybody else, really.
Anybody
TJ
else?
is more medical, right? I mean, who would even be second? I mean, I know it's Scott, but he doesn't have the experience, the knowledge to really be the leader.
Colonel Telford.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Colonel
at this
Telford.
point, with who was on there, it would be Telford.
Not anymore. We'll get to that.
Not anymore.
Right.
I guess that happened in this episode, didn't it? Yeah, these two kind of run together for me. So I mean, if you take Telford out of the equation, and I don't know if they even would follow Telford anyway. I mean, nobody really trusts him.
Right.
So I mean, honestly, the person probably in the best position to be the leader if Young wasn't there is Varro. I hate to say it, but honestly, he's probably the most level-headed, seasoned, experienced leader. But Scott wouldn't follow him. There's no way.
No, and Greer certainly wouldn't.
Greer would put him out the airlock, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Greer would be like, Mr. Varro, come over here. I want to show you your new cabin. Step right in here. Oh, my bad.
I don't think he would even be that nice.
No, he wouldn't. Y'all see, and when the show first started, I told Andy he was going to really like Greer, and he didn't believe me. But you see what I mean, don't you?
Yes.
He's so cool. He's great.
I do.
All right. I have a couple of unanswered questions. Do y'all have any discussion, overall discussion that we haven't already? I feel like we've already kind of talked about this one.
I actually had one because
okay,
I didn't catch it the first time around.
Ooh. Okay.
And because I was like, wait a minute, what? So it was when they were over on the alien ship, and Scott and Greer they're just like going through the corridors, just kind of chatting like guys. And Scott's like naming off different females, and Greer's like, no. And then suddenly he's like, Park. And Scott's like, Park? And he's like, yeah, you remember when I had that hamstring injury a while back, and I said it was from
From
squats.
doing some exercise.
And he's like, it wasn't from squats. And I'm just like, I did not catch that the first time around.
Oh man, Park got it going.
Park, because you think, Greer, he's Master Sergeant, but he's enlisted and he's rough around the edges. And let's face it, Park is this nice, quiet scientist, and it's just like, I know the pickings are slim, but it's just like, wow, okay. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I thought about you both here.
Oh dear. Did Lieutenant James show up? She did briefly.
Yes, it's about Lieutenant James, and I was thinking about this morning, and I'm like, I'm really kind of disappointed because they so underutilize her, and I'm like, she's a freaking lieutenant in the military. She is an officer. She, outranks so many people on this ship, and I know they probably had her to start that love triangle with Scott and Chloe, but it's like she's in the background. She had that little conversation with TJ, and when I'm looking on IMDb in the credit, she's not credited for this episode.
Oh wow.
And I'm just like, that's a whole missed thing. I think there could have been so much more to her character as this totally badass woman who's in the military, who is, an officer in the military. She's a fighter. She's not a little damsel in distress, and they just basically relegated her to Scott's former
jealous
thing.
Occasionally
they didn't even have a relationship really. It was just fun times, and I'm just like, I'm kind of really bummed out about that.
I think she was originally part of the cast to fill out a tank top, and then when that kind of grew old, they didn't know what to do with her. And I agree, it is unfortunate because she is an interesting character. She's had a couple interesting character moments, but then they never seem to go anywhere. And I keep waiting for them to, but with only 9 episodes left, I don't know where they're going to go with it now. Yeah. So I agree.
She's kind of the Athena. We were just talking about this about Battlestar Galactica. Same thing. Yep. Pretty face, and then once that's done, what do you do with her? So, because love triangle, right? Because Athena was there with Cassiopeia and Starbuck, and then just like Athena, she kind of is the one that's out. So, although I like Cassiopeia a lot more than I like Chloe, to be honest. I'm just not a huge Chloe fan. All right, let's see. A couple of unanswered questions for this one. We're still waiting to find out exactly what's going on with Chloe's leg. But I think it was really more leading us to Chloe's head, right? That she's suddenly filling up notebooks full of alien script and doing math problems that Rush couldn't do. So, and then when will Rush reveal that he found the control room and can somewhat control the ship?
Only if he ever has to.
Right. Well, yeah, he's doing enough now to make people suspicious. But he was very fortunate this episode that Chloe came along. He was able to, like when they said, "Where were you?" He could point to his room with all the stuff on the walls. If he hadn't had that, he'd have really been up the creek.
Yep.
That's next episode, Van.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, okay. So yeah. Again, these run together. So, all right. I got you. All right. In fact.
I have an unanswered question.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this, because I kind of went through and did one and then the other for each category. Do we want to? I guess we want to do them separate. I did
them separate because it really didn't have a connecting story between the two.
It's true. All right, go ahead, Laura.
No, my question is: are these aliens on the Seed Ship? Are they benevolent or are they malevolent? We don't know, because yes, they started draining power from the Destiny, but we don't know what their motivation was or why. But when they knocked out Rush and was it Telford, they just stunned them. They didn't hurt them.
Yep.
And the little alien that they were going to take back to the ship, he saw his escape and took it, but didn't hurt anybody. So they don't seem interested in doing any harm to anyone, but we don't know what their motivation is and who they are and what they are and all of that. So
do we even know that it was the aliens who stopped the energy or who reversed the energy transfer? Was that Rush?
I don't think it was Rush, because you have that scene where they stun people, and then we have all of these guys coming out and they're all around. So that's my take on it.
But the energy transfer reversed before those guys got out.
Well, all right. Rush didn't want to break the connection between the ships, but he did it because of the energy transfer.
Gotcha.
So if he was doing the energy transfer, he wouldn't have had to do that.
Okay. So that was a misreading on my part.
Yeah. So, well, it was a lot of stuff at once there. All right.
I still don't trust them.
No, I get it. We talked about that a little bit. Okay. So, Andy, what was your most intriguing or interesting character in 203 Awakenings?
For me, it was the alien. Just for everything that Laura was just saying, because why was he there? I mean, he didn't seem like a military type, because the second they pulled out their weapons, he curled up into a little ball. So
yeah.
And then he was willing to try the food that Scott offered him as well. So
didn't go
yeah,
well,
no, it didn't go over well. But so why is he there? Was he a prisoner? Was he part of a research team like Rush posited? I mean, I thought that opened up a whole can of worms, and I was really hoping that they'd go somewhere with that storyline, but they didn't. So I'm still intrigued by what's going on with those guys.
Laura, what was your most interesting or intriguing character?
I had two, of course. So I put Telford and Rush, because Rush, we still don't know why he's doing what he's doing, I mean, he wants to see the destiny through. He doesn't want things to stop, but it's just like, what are his true motivations here, and why is he keeping this a secret, and why is he trying to do all of this on his own when his own subconscious is saying, dude, you aren't sleeping, you need to stop this. So that whole thing I find to be interesting, because we never know what Rush's motivations are. Are they altruistic? He's never altruistic, but yeah, what his intentions. And then Telford, he almost has, to me, had this slight personality change. His interaction with Young, and he is backed down from being, I should be in charge. You don't know what you're doing. And then when he goes, he's like, let me go over the ship. Put me in, coach. And I'm just like, he's almost begging Young. He's like, utilize me. Let me do this. Mm-hmm. And then when everything was going on, I mean, because they're like, things could go awry. And he's like, I understand. And he knew exactly what he was doing, and basically sacrificed himself to allow the destiny to get away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is going on in that brain of his to make him basically strand himself on a ship that he knows nothing about?
I had Colonel Telford, I agree, but I'm also persuaded by Andy that the alien is an intriguing character, and we'll hopefully see more of them. Character you wish they'd shoved out the airlock. Laura, who do you want to shove out the airlock?
This episode? Yeah. Young and Simeon both. It's like I said, Young was just annoying the crap out of me, and Simeon's just also annoying and good.
All right, Andy,
I had Rush because I don't trust him for anything. He is totally in it for himself, and he's causing more trouble than he's helping at this point, and I don't trust him a bit. I think he should be shoved right out the airlock and let Eli take over.
Oh, strong. All right. I actually have in my notes, quote unquote, Rush always flirts with the airlock. Let's see. Andy, what was your favorite moment in this one?
I had a really hard time because there wasn't a whole lot of momentous moments. You know, it was just a bunch of
I agree.
stuff. I put the interaction with the alien, the first, when they were just trying to figure out how to communicate with them. I wish it would have gone somewhere further than it did, but I thought what they did was interesting and realistic and fun to watch.
Laura, your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was when TJ almost breaks Simeon's hand.
Yes, that was good. Good call there. I forgot about that.
Because she is, I mean, she's portrayed as this sweet. I mean, yes, she's military, but she's this sweet, and it's just like he got out, and she's like, bam! It's like, ooh, yeah. So yeah, don't mess with TJ.
Yeah, I said when I can't remember who's Brody and who's Volker. They're kind of the same to me. I forget.
Right.
Brody's the dark-headed guy.
I'm sorry, what?
Brody's got the dark hair.
All right, I still don't remember which one was in the room in the scene. They'd still blur together, but one of them turns around to say something, and the alien is standing there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was Volker.
That's Volker.
Yeah, that was fun. All right,
I laughed when he said, "Well, it tastes like this fruit," and he's like, "What does that taste like?" He goes, "Well, it tastes like that fruit." And Greer's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of these fruits before.
Yeah, that was good. All right. So, Laura, who won this episode?
The aliens.
Yeah.
Because they got away.
I'll just say right now, I had no answer for this. I don't know who won it. So aliens worked for me.
I put Rush because he got what he wanted. His subconscious even said, you succeeded or something like that, and I don't know what he's doing. I think he's just bat poop crazy.
Yeah. I have that coming up. Okay, hold on. Save that for the next one. All right. So Andy, who lost this episode?
Telford.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, you agree? All right. Yeah. I have Telford and the Lucian Alliance people lost again because they still couldn't get a break. Dr. Rush had to abort whatever he was doing in order to save the ship reluctantly, and while talking it through with his imaginary late wife. And I made a list here. Famous SF characters on TV who talk to invisible people. Number 3, Crichton on Farscape.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
Scorpius.
Number 2, Baltar on the new Battlestar Galactica talks to Ship 6, as they called her.
Yeah.
And number 1, Dr. Rush on Stargate Universe talks to all sorts of invisible people every episode. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give mine first this time. What was the most Stargate moment? I think there's only one question. There's only one answer. What was the most Stargate moment in this episode? A ship full of Stargates. Most Stargate moment. All right.
That's exactly what I had.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Running across a starship full of Stargates was very Stargatey for sure.
I did have one other little addendum is when the gate shut down, when they're trying to dial out, and it just
just did very rapidly, abruptly.
That was also a very Stargate moment.
I didn't believe for a second that Stargate was going to work for them the way that they were all acting like it was going to work. Not for a second.
And they were all too excited, and all the people going in, it's just like, that's just setting up so it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's Operation Exodus on Space 1999. Every other episode, get the Eagles ready. We found our planet. Oh, no, we didn't. It's weird. It's got alien robot monsters. Everybody back to your quarters. It's all good. And this show is a lot like Space 1999. So I like when they get ready to do Operation Exodus and then they bail out on it. I have a flex category, but I want to see if either of you guys do.
The only one I have is the story or character development that left me scratching my head, and I put Telford stuck with the aliens. I did not see that coming at all, and for him to be stranded,
Telford,
right? A new buddy cop show. They travel around the universe solving crimes,
and with their seed ship. Yeah,
right.
That'd be awesome. Laura, did you have any of those?
I took the obvious easy one and the interesting use of food, and when Volker, it's like it's like everyone's like, no, that tastes terrible. He's like, no, I think it's pretty good. And then the alien, but it was it was kind of this little pseudo bonding moment between our people and the alien. But yeah, it's like, here, eat this, and the aliens probably think, why are you trying to poison me? This is terrible.
Aliens reminded me of my daughter for years when I would try to put it in. I have a flex, but I kind of went outside the lines a little bit, but I think you'll forgive me. And this is true for the whole series. Would this episode have been better with Garibaldi, Londo, or Jakar? My answer is I'm kind of wishing Nagrath was here setting up a black market underworld on Destiny. How cool would it be?
That would get my 2 thumbs up approval, just to have Nagrath causing trouble.
Camille would be so outraged and filing protests.
Greer would be passing them money under the table.
Volker would be, and the other guy would be down there like, so you got any of so-and-so? And he'd be like, I can get it for you.
He'd be like the Russian guy on For All Mankind. Oh, sorry. Spoilers.
Yeah. All right, let me see. Oh, I never rated the second one. I'll have to do that when we come back around. All right. So we are to the rating. So Andy, on a scale of 1 to 5, or I guess 0 to 5, how did you rate 203 Awakenings?
I gave it a 2.5. I thought it was interesting enough, all the little subplots moving forward at bits and pieces. But again, the lack of an A plot kind of made it hard to really engage with 100%. They started with a cool A plot. I was like, oh, cool, a seed ship. Oh, look at all those Stargates. Oh, this is going to go somewhere. And it didn't.
It did not. Yeah. Laura, your rating?
I put a 3, kind of right smack in the middle. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy the more character-driven stuff. And I'm thinking, while nothing of substance seems to have happened in this episode, I think there's always a payoff down the road.
I gave it a 3, but purely it got that high because of the seed ship and the aliens, and feeling like maybe that's going to set something up. Honestly, I don't even remember off the top of my head, because I did watch this show several times in the past, but I don't remember what happens here. So I felt like just the thought of having another Destiny type ship and the aliens and Telford and all that was fun enough to get it up. Plus, I'm still waiting I am curious about Chloe and what's going on with that. The rest of the stuff, not so much. All right. We're about to do, and I always forget to do this, but we're about to do the second episode. So let's go ahead and I wanted to thank let me see. I always forget to open up the Patreon. And you can see me like stretching here. But I got it.
Yeah. So Van, that is the most podcast thing every episode.
It is.
What's the most White Rocket podcast thing on the White Rocket podcast?
All right. So I'm trying to get it to show me. Why won't it show me? Oh my gosh. They changed it and it's really weird. Okay. So I want to, before we get into the other episode, we always want to thank our patrons that keep this show going. So go to www.b5review.com, www.b5review.com, and sign up. Click on the big button to become a patron. You can just go to patreon.com, sign in if you've already got an account there or whatever, and look for White Rocket Reviews. We are White Rocket Reviews. We review Stargate Universe. We're currently just starting doing Battlestar Galactica 1978, which is awesome. Jim Yelton and I have been doing Space 1999 for a little while now. We're going to continue with that. In fact, I think next week we'll have the week after this show posts to the podcast world, you'll be finding the next Space 1999 with Jim. Here are the folks that are currently keeping us commercial free, because we are a commercial free. We are one of the few YouTube and audio podcast shows out there that has no ads. And the only reason we're able to do that is because of these folks right here. And we would like you to join them. They include Leah G, Emmanuel Seaman, Rich Hammett, Stu Parker, Setch Atumbe, the Geek Boy, the Bookish Hedgehog, Una Vez, and Una Luna Azul, Pete Wildstar, Fire the Wave Motion Gun Furman, Middle-aged Tim, grumpy old SGU fan. Well, I hope Grumpy is happier now. We're getting another SGU episode in there.
Right.
Dragon Con Todd of the Discerning Geeks Portal podcast. Fit to be Mootide. DRKX, Heather and Yancey Steingraber. Bum, 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 bum. That's Count Baltar. Mond06, Drazi Purple in Purple. We are stunning. Lou Welch's Revenge. Jay, Captain Quinn of the EAS Achilles, and Justine Jones. We are all so happy to have you folks on board. I think we have a comment from our Battlestar Galactica episode 1. It is our friend Steve the Green Hand. And he says, he just says, can't wait. Awesome. Can't wait to get into this. Probably looking forward to it tomorrow. So he's going to give us his thoughts once he's seen it. All right. So good. So people are checking out our Battlestar Galactica first episode and looking forward to their thoughts there. All right. Let's get over into 204 and zip through it. I don't have nearly the notes for it. This won't take nearly as long. Very quickly, 204 Pathogen. I don't understand why episode 203 was Awakenings. And I don't understand why this one was Pathogen. Andy,
Awakenings was because the aliens awoke when they connected with their ship, and Pathogen is what is going on with Chloe. They even refer to it as something that needs to be cured or eliminated, like a virus.
I also thought it alluded to Eli's mom.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because this episode to me was way more about look how the folks back home are suffering because we're gone.
Right.
It was anything that happened on the ship. This was another one of those, like Earth, I think it was called in the first season, where it was really more about the folks back home. All right. This one aired October 19th, 2010. Carl Bender wrote it, directed by Robert Carlyle. Yay. Eli and Scott realize Chloe's acting strangely, so they investigate any alien control over her. Eli is called to Earth to deal with his mother, who is ailing. After investigating the alien influence over Chloe, Rush stages a cure, quote unquote, intending to reassure the rest of the crew while using her enhanced intelligence for his own ends. All right. The only guest star we had this time, I think, was the mom, and I didn't note her name. And the Camille's
girlfriend, partner. Right.
We've talked about them before, though, so I don't feel too bad about that. All right, so let me see. I didn't really find any notes for this one particularly. I'm sure there's some out there, but I just didn't go looking. So y'all want to go into? You have anything, or you want to go straight into story discussion?
I didn't find anything.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So for this one, really, it's like I said, it's mostly about the issues of the people that they left behind. A little bit about Chloe. It's just continuing the subplot.
Right.
So not one of my favorite episodes. There was talk about no A plot, Andy. At least the other one had something that looked like it could be an A plot and turned out not to be. This one didn't even pretend.
Yeah.
This was just meanwhile on Destiny and back on Earth.
I don't know. I mean, it's a very weak A plot, but because this was fairly Eli centric, I think the A plot was basically getting his mother the reassurance, because she has no idea where he is, or she just know that he, the government,
yeah, that's fair,
said we need you, and he went, and like you said, this has been what, about from the last episode, like 9 months. So we're looking 9-10 months, and she's not heard anything from her son. And so to me, that was basically the plot. It was a single character driven plot.
Let me ask you this then. I think you're right. Did she quit taking her medications? They intimate in the episode that she just got depressed and quit taking them.
Mm-hmm.
I posit to you two that she did it on purpose to make him contact her.
Wow.
I don't know. She doesn't strike me as that manipulative. I do think
she just got
that
desperate.
it is. well, I don't know that necessarily that was forefront in the conscious. Maybe it was a subconscious thing, but I think she stopped taking it because I don't know what's going on. I don't wear it. And she was in such a deep depression that she just didn't care anymore.
Well, the way when it really hit me, and I don't think I paid enough attention in previous viewings, but when it really hit me was when Eli walks in. See, because it throws you off because the way that they always film it is the person whose mind is there rather than the body.
Right.
But that can be confusing and distorting at times, because it was really important that that person be Eli that walked in, and to her he was not. So I'm thinking she's dying and some random Air Force guy walks in.
Mm-hmm.
How miserable must she have been? I'm about to die and my son sends some other person to talk to me. And I think Eli realized that, which is why he broke protocol and started blabbing. But I'll say this, as much as this was not a very exciting episode, it was pretty satisfying when they brought her up on the ship.
Yes.
Right. And that's why I would agree with Laura that is the A plot. I see her point, and it gave us a problem. They worked through it, and it gave us a resolution. So yeah, that I agree with Laura on that one. Now that would be the A plot.
I have an unanswered question that goes along with this. Did Eli's mom really not believe that was Eli, or was she just in denial?
That's a good question.
I think she really didn't believe, because she knew nothing about what was going on. And this whole, I mean, I'm trying to think. So the whole Stargate, what's the word? Just the whole Stargate scenario in general, it's not known to the public, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right.
It's a top secret. It's a top secret thing. It's highly classified, So she knows nothing about this. She doesn't know that there are snake aliens out there. She doesn't know that people can travel through space. She doesn't know any of this. It's, to hear that is science fiction, which when Eli is coming clean to her and trying to convince her that it's him, and he brings up, what is your favorite science fiction movie? Because basically to let her know, okay, yes, science fiction is real. This is really happening. This is why this is weird. And yes, I understand, it's great. So no, I don't think she was in denial. I think she truly didn't know. And it took a lot for her to wrap her brain on it. And that's why when he, got in touch with Camille and's like, look, we need to, I know she doesn't have clearance, but we need to do this because she's going to die if we don't, because she thinks she has no idea where I am, and she doesn't believe I'm who I am.
And pick the right person to make it get done too. Camille just like berated people probably until they're like, all right, fine, if you'll just stop.
Which to me, they didn't really overemphasize it, but it did show a different side to Camille. I mean, we've all wanted to shove her out of the airlock at some point, and it's like, okay, HR, get off your high horse. But I think it helps to humanize her and show she really does care. And I mean, she even pointed out, like, when they're on the phone and she's like, look, he figured out how to dial the 9th chevron. This man is extremely important to the mission, and we're going to lose him. He's going to, just shut down if we don't make this happen. You want this to succeed, you're going to do. So I liked the little window into Camille and giving her more depth than what we have. I mean, we've seen quite a few deep things with her. And I do like the little, just them being sprinkled in more and more. So when she is annoying, we're like, oh, but she does have a good side to her.
I've been on Team Camille since day one. I mean, I've always defended her. Van's been wanting to boot her out the airlock from the episode halfway through episode 1. I'm like, hey, you know what? She's not wrong because she usually isn't wrong.
Yeah, she's basically like the president character on the new Battlestar Galactica, the civilian administrator that argues with the military guy. There is so much DNA of both Space 1999 and Battlestar Galactica in this show. All right, I want to talk for a second about the chair. Did he believe anything was going to happen when he put Chloe in it? It was all
he knew exactly what he was doing, and it wasn't going to do anything, but nobody else knew that.
Right, it was all for show.
Because he wanted to continue to have access to Chloe because she solved his formula in 2.5 seconds.
He didn't want her cured. He did not want her cured at all. He wants to use her to solve his issues and further his agenda.
But he also didn't want her to keep being locked up and under surveillance. So he had to cure her.
Yep, that was all for show. Rush is really starting to annoy me. He's not in it to win it. He's in it for Rush.
That's true. Along similar lines, Colonel Young puts Chloe into quarantine when she starts doing stuff, but nobody discusses putting Dr. Rush into quarantine when he also was held captive by the aliens and has been disappearing for lengthy amounts of time, and his lies about it have been increasing and so forth. So there's an argument.
That's just Rush being Rushed. I mean, he's not exhibiting anything unusual for Rush.
He's not remarkably healing wounds that shouldn't heal this quick. He's not going into trances. He's not showing up in places and not knowing how he got there and having moments of blackout. So yeah, like Andy said, he's just being Rush. That's what everybody knows. He's secretive. He keeps things very close to the chest. He's acting very typical, whereas Chloe is acting very atypical.
All right. Well, interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes. Let's zip through our categories for 204. Who, Andy, was the most interesting or intriguing character this time around?
Chloe. The whole situation was just fascinating. I want to see where that goes.
I'm in agreement there.
I had Eli's mom was interesting too.
Yep, she was my second pick.
Yeah. Okay. Laura, character you wish they'd shove out the airlock this time around?
Simeon.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
straight
doubt.
Up Simeon.
Yeah, he needs to go. Leave him you can't leave him on Alien Planet because the blue aliens will come along and pick him up, and next thing you know, he's Baltar sitting on his own alien command ship. Destroy the Destiny. Bomb, bomb. Okay, sorry, that was fun.
Yep, I'm in total agreement. He and to top it all off, he just has bad hair. I mean, he's got terrible hair. So
he's always a bad guy in everything, that actor.
Right.
All right, Andy, favorite moment this time around?
When Eli confesses to his mom. That was Eli is quickly becoming, if he hasn't already, he is my favorite character because his emotional arc is just fascinating, and the actor handles it so incredibly well. He could have been the annoying Wesley Crusher, and he has not been. And this just fortifies my love for Eli. I think that this episode was a really strong Eli show, and that scene when he confessed everything to his mom was just heart-wrenching and fascinating to watch.
He does do a great job. Laura, what are you thinking?
My favorite moment was when Eli's mom got on to the ship through the stones, and just that immediate, seeing Park's face in the mirror, but knowing that, okay, I'm seeing this, but that's not me. And then seeing Eli and it's just like, that's when everything clicked, that he's telling the truth. This is real. This is what it is. And then, getting to see around the ship, that was just, it was one of those moments, to have, Eli connecting, with his mom, being able to reconnect with a loved one and them to actually see what you're doing and get it.
Yep.
And then,
And it's interesting too that before all this happened to them, Eli was probably completely oblivious to how much his mother cared about him and all that. And he realized it now. I read this quote somewhere. It must have been this episode. I just don't remember. I didn't hear it. Where she said, he was the reason I got out of bed in the morning. I just didn't know it until he was gone.
Yep.
That's interesting.
And you could see that realization on Eli's face as she was saying that. I mean, the kudos to the actor, but you could see
David Blue,
his dawning realization that, holy crap, my mom really does love me and I'm important to her. That was really cool.
It is important. All right, Andy, who won this episode?
I have Eli winning the episode because he saved his mom.
Fair. Okay, Laura?
I said Eli and his mom both won.
I have a note that Vero and the others got out of lockup. Just
They
one
did.
episode after Young said, you're never getting out under a Young administration. He lets them out. And then, of course, Simeon immediately screws it all up. But we saw what happened there, so that worked out. That was kind of fun. But yeah, so progress, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, maybe for our Lucian Alliance friends. Laura, who lost this episode?
I put Chloe because everything about her is unknown. She doesn't know what's going on. Nobody else knows what's going on. And so it's unknown and she has no answers.
I also have Chloe for that reason. And I mean, she knows Rush didn't help her, and she knows, I mean, they even said that, this could possibly be affecting her DNA and changing her into an alien. So she knows that she's still very sick and that she could very soon not be Chloe at all. So that's got to be, and there's nothing she can do about it. So that's definitely a losing situation.
And I'm hoping we're going to learn. Obviously, they got to be setting something up, so we'll learn more.
Right.
I'm going a different direction though. I kind of said Camille's girlfriend. We got a lot of shots of her drinking down the wine,
but
she's having a rough time
at the end though, because it was between Eli and Camille. It's like your partner and my mom need to meet because it's they mentioned about having support by people who understand. Yeah. So Camille's partner knew and understood and was still having a hard time. So, there was that payoff at the end where she goes to the hospital and Eli's like, oh yeah, he mentioned you and I was expecting you. So it's their little 2-party Stargate support group.
Right.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, that's true. All right, Laura, what was the most Stargate moment for you?
I put Eli's mom on the ship, seeing everything, and it's the realization is like, oh wow, yes, this is real. That seemed very Stargate to me.
Andy?
I had Rush being Rush. He was conniving, he was rotten, and he was crazy, and that was all very, very Rush.
He's crazier than a blank house rat.
Right. And when your imaginary friends are telling you you're probably crazy, you're probably crazy.
Oh no. I'm perfectly sane. Now my imaginary friends all think I'm crazy. They're crazy. Good grief. All right. Does anybody have a flex category for this one? I don't.
I couldn't think of one at all. Yeah. All the Babylon 5 characters would have just thrown up their hands and walked out the airlock themselves. So
that's right. Veer, I gotta go put my head in this station's fusion reactor. It would be quicker, and after a while, I might even come to enjoy it. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Although Chloe does seem to think she's on the Chloe the Alien show, so she's kind of on a different show from everybody else right now. Till they poke her and say, "Chloe, wake up!" And she's like, "Oh, all right." Laura, how do you rate 204 Pathogen?
I gave it another solid 3.
Okay.
I really, really liked the whole arc and plot with Eli and his mom, but that was pretty much it. There was not a whole lot else.
I also gave it a 3. I really liked the everything with Eli and his mom. I thought the payoff there, the resolution there was really cool. But again, that one scene was neat. But also because Rush, I mean, we really amped up his it's no longer ambiguous whether he's in it for himself or in it for the team. I mean, now it's clearly solidly he's Rush and he's gonna do bad things and hurt other people to get what he wants. So I thought that was an interesting progression to his arc.
I agree. I was trying to see if I can't find it. I was hoping I could find the. I didn't find the Gate World rating for this episode. The Gate World rating for 203 was 2.5. I can't imagine this one was much higher than 3. I gave it a 3 as well. Did I give you the IMDb rating for 203?
Mm-mm.
Okay, here we go. Andy gets to guess.
Oh, Jesus.
Everybody's favorite part of our show.
I have no idea. I'm going to say out of...
Okay, hold on.
It's out of 10? All right.
It's out of 10. All right, hold on. Here we go. This is the IMDb rating for 203 Awakenings first. Let's do that one first.
Okay.
On a scale of 0
I'm going
to 10.
to say 7.3.
7.3 is actually the IMDb rating for 204 Pathogen.
Oh,
So
really?
nailed the other one.
I was gonna rate them both the same because it was
Wow,
they
there
kind
you
of
go.
blend together.
Yeah.
So what was the
believe it or
one for
not,
203?
This is crazy to me that for 204, and I, probably the superior episode, maybe 204 marginally, but they give 204 a 7.3 Pathogen. They gave Awakenings 8.0.
Wow.
I know.
It's because the aliens.
Yeah, that could be.
Probably.
I am not at all connected with 2005 Stargate fans apparently because I don't get it. But
no. All right. Well,
maybe they only had like 4 people vote on that one.
Well, it's IMDb. It could be that it's just such a sufficiently different group of people voting.
Right.
That's possibly true. I wanted to see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gate World gave Pathogen a 2. They gave it a 2 stars out of 5 stars and a 7.15. So now you know. And the guest star Sharon Walker was Rayco Aylesworth, and Mrs. Rush, Louise Lombard, and I was looking for Marianne Wallace was Glynis Davies. There we go. Glynis Davies plays the mom.
Cool.
All right. So let me see what's coming up in our next stop on the Destiny. We will be covering. Oh, this title should be interesting, Andy. 205 Cloverdale.
What?
Cloverdale.
Okay.
And 206 Trial and Error.
Ooh. A 3-word title. That must be important.
Yeah. I believe Cloverdale, that episode came out around the time of that found footage movie about the alien monster attacking
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Okay, so maybe that's where it's going. That's it. All right. So 205 Cloverdale and 206 Trial and Error. And how many episodes do we have in this season? 20? Yeah, 20. So we're zipping right along here. We're getting close to the midway point of the second season already. That's crazy. So, all right, guys, any final thoughts before we wrap up Stargate Universe for this week?
I mean, interesting episodes. Not a whole lot going on, but it set up some really interesting and potentially explosive, turn of events in the future. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the next few episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it to SGU. They do pay off on things they set up. So
Yeah.
I'm giving them a modicum of trust here.
Laura, you feel good about where it's going? I can't
I
remember
do.
what's coming up. So
I was gonna say, I mean, I remember the end, but I don't necessarily remember all the details in between.
Right.
And which is good because then I'm not like automatically thinking ahead necessarily.
Yeah, I remember like the last 3 or 4, but where we are right now between
Yeah.
here and like 15, I have no memory of it all. And that's not a bad thing. It's more of a me thing, right? So we don't be worried, Eddie. All right, we're going to wrap up and get on out of here for this episode. We got in about an hour 20, not too bad. And we will see you guys next week. We'll be back with the second half of Battlestar Galactica on the audio feed. And then we'll be doing we've got Lost Planet of the Gods for Battlestar Galactica coming up too. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth between Stargate and Galactica if everybody's okay with that. I haven't heard anybody complaining either among us or the audience so far. So we will see you guys. See you guys later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.